The twin suns burned above the alien sky. The heat pressed down on the city, and the market was alive with noise. Strange creatures shouted, bargained, and laughed. Stalls were full of glowing fruits, weapons made of crystal, and cages with creatures that no one on Earth had ever seen. But in the center of the market, the loudest place of all, stood the slave platform. Here, lives were sold like animals. A girl stood on the wooden stage, chains around her wrists and ankles. Her feet were bare, her skin bruised. She wore nothing. The crowd of aliens jeered and pointed, their strange voices full of cruel laughter. "She is too thin," one alien hissed. "Not worth the food." Another shouted. The auctioneer, a fat alien with 4 eyes and long arms, tried to raise the price. He pulled the girl's hair and forced her to stand straight. "Look at this one. Strong bones, young blood, human female," he roared. "Who will make the first offer?" But no one spoke. The girl lowered her head. She wanted to disappear, to melt into the ground. She had been in cages for days, no weeks. She could not remember. She was weak from hunger, her lips dry, her eyes full of tears she would not let fall. The aliens laughed louder. Some threw scraps of food at her feet. Not to feed her, but to mock her. Others spat strange liquid from their mouths. "No one will buy her." One shouted, "She is useless." Another agreed. The auctioneer grew angry. He shouted louder, waving his arms. "She is human. Do you not understand? Humans are rare, strong, valuable." Still, no one raised a hand. The girl's heart pounded. She did not know why she was here. She remembered only fragments being taken from her world. The smell of metal, the sound of chains, the faces of aliens she had never seen before. She was lost, alone, naked in front of eyes that hated her. The auctioneer slammed his hand on the platform. 5 credits. Anyone. 3 credits. 1 credit. Someone take her. The crowd roared with laughter. No one would buy her. An alien barked. "Leave her to rot." Another said. The girl felt her knees shake. She closed her eyes. Maybe it was better this way. Maybe she would die here, in the dust of this market, and no one would remember her name. But then, a shadow fell. Across the stage, the crowd went silent for a moment, confused. From between the aliens, a tall figure walked forward. He was different. Not green, not blue, not scaled or horned. He was human. The girl's eyes opened wide. She thought her mind was playing tricks. But no, it was real. A human man, his face rough, his clothes worn, but his eyes sharp and alive. Whispers. Move through the crowd, a human. What is he doing here? Possible. They are almost extinct. The man stepped closer. He looked at the girl, and she looked back at him. His eyes were not cruel. They were not laughing. They were calm, steady, almost kind. The auctioneer saw an opportunity. He clapped his hands. "Ah, yes. A fellow human. You understand her? Value you will buy. Yes." The man's voice was low, but strong. "How much?" The crowd gasped. The auctioneer grinned. "For you, 10 credits. A fine deal. She is yours." The man tossed a small bag onto the stage. It landed with a heavy sound of coins. The auctioneer opened it, counted quickly, and laughed. "She is sold." The chains around the girl's wrists and ankles were unlocked with a cruel snap. Her body swayed, weak, ready to fall. But the man caught her arm before she hit the ground. The crowd hissed. Why would he buy her? She is worthless. Crazy human. The man ignored them. He wrapped his old coat around her bare shoulders, covering her. For the first time in what felt like forever, the girl felt warm. He leaned close and whispered so only she could hear. "You are not safe here." Follow me if you want to live. Her breath caught. She wanted to ask who he was. Why? He had saved her, but her voice failed. Still, her legs moved when he pulled her away from the stage. The market noise rose again, angry shouts, alien curses, the sound of feet chasing. But the man did not stop. He led her into the shadows of the alleys, away from the stage, away from the chains, away from the shame. The girl looked back once, and the image of the laughing crowd burned into her mind. They had left her to die. They thought she was nothing. But the stranger's hand was firm on her arm, guiding her forward, and in that moment a spark of hope lit inside her chest. She did not know his name. She did not know his plan. But she knew one thing: her story was not over yet. The alleys of the alien city were narrow and dark. Strange lights flickered on the walls, and the smell of smoke and oil filled the air. The man pulled the girl quickly through the maze of stone and metal. His grip was strong but not cruel, and his coat covered her trembling body. Behind them, voices shouted. Alien guards pushed through the market crowd. Find the human. One roared. She cannot escape. Another hissed. The girl's legs were weak, but fear gave her strength. She stumbled after the man, her bare feet scraping against rough stone. At last, he turned sharply and pushed her into a doorway. It was hidden between two broken walls, almost invisible in the shadows. He pressed a hand against a panel, and with a low hum, the door slid open. Inside, he whispered. The girl obeyed. She stepped into the darkness, and the door closed behind them. The safe place the room was small and dim, lit only by a single lamp. Old crates lined the walls, and a thin bed lay in the corner. It smelled of metal, dust, and faint traces of oil. The girl stood silently, clutching his coat tighter around her body. Her heart was still racing. She had so many questions, but her voice shook too much to speak. The man finally turned to face her. In the light, she could see him clearly. His hair was dark with streaks of gray, his jaw rough with stubble, and his eyes sharp and alert. He looked older than her, maybe in his late 30s or 40s, but his movements were quick, full of hidden strength. You should sit, he said. You look like you'll collapse. She lowered herself onto the bed slowly. Her throat was dry, but at last she whispered the words, "Why?" The man tilted his head. "Why what? Why help me?" Her voice cracked. "You don't know me." No one else cared. For a long moment, he didn't answer. Then he leaned against the wall, arms crossed, and spoke in a low voice. "Because I know what they would have done to you, and because—" He paused, his eyes narrowing. "Because you're human. That's enough." The stranger's name, the girl stared at him. Human. The word felt strange in this place, in a world full of claws, scales, and glowing eyes. He was like her. She was not completely alone. "What is your name?" she asked. He hesitated, as if deciding whether to trust her. At last he said, "Elias." The name felt strong, heavy, like stone. She held on to it in her mind. "And you?" he asked quietly. She opened her mouth, but froze. Her name, her real name, felt far away, like a memory locked in shadows. At last she whispered, "Lena." "Lena," Elias repeated. "All right." The truth about the market. For a moment, there was silence between them. The lamp flickered, and distant noises of the city echoed through the walls. Finally, Lena whispered, "Why was I there? Why didn't anyone buy me?" Elias's eyes darkened. "Because you are dangerous to them?" Her heart skipped. "Dangerous. I am nothing. I am weak." "You don't understand," he said firmly. "Humans are rare now. Some believe we are valuable. Others believe we are a threat. To the alien empire, you are both. That's why they left you to rot on that stage. They want you broken, humiliated, useless. That way, no one will ever see your true worth." Lena shook her head, tears filling her eyes. "I am not worth anything." Elias leaned closer, his voice sharp. "Don't ever say that again. You're alive, and that means you're worth something. Maybe more than you know." The bounty, he pulled a small device from his coat pocket and tapped it. A hologram glowed above his hand, filling the room with blue light. Lena gasped when she saw it. It was her face, her chains, her eyes downcast. Across the hologram, alien symbols flashed, and a robotic voice repeated the same phrase. Elias translated it for her. "Wanted. Human, female. Capture alive. Reward, 50,000 credits." Lena's breath caught. Her face was on every alien. "Bounty list. Why?" she whispered. Elias's jaw tightened. "That's what I'm trying to find out. But one thing is clear, they will not stop hunting you." The promise. Lena trembled. Fear rose inside her chest like fire. She wanted to run, to hide, to vanish from this world. "Why not just leave me?" she asked. Her voice shook. "If I'm dangerous, if I'm hunted, why save me? They'll kill you too." Elias's eyes softened for a moment. Then his expression grew cold again, like steel. "Because I've seen too many humans abandoned. I won't let it happen again." He moved toward the door and listened carefully, his hand resting on a hidden weapon at his belt. "They'll be searching for us already. We don't have much time." Then he looked back at her. His voice was, but full of command. "From now on, Lena, you stay close to me. If you want to survive, you do as I say, understand?" She nodded slowly. The fear inside her had not vanished, but there was something else now, a teased thin thread of hope. This stranger, this Elias, had risked everything to save her, for the first time since her capture. She felt the possibility that maybe, just maybe, she could live. The last warning. Elias dimmed the hologram and slipped the device away. The room fell back into shadow. "They will come tonight," he said. "Hunters, soldiers, thieves, anyone who wants the bounty. We have to move before they find this place." Lena pulled his coat tighter, her body still trembling. She whispered only one word. The alien city never slept. Strange lights floated in the air. Glowing signs blinked in unknown languages. And shadows moved through the narrow streets like predators waiting for prey. Elias kept his hood low as he guided Lena through the twisting. Alice's hand never left the grip of his hidden weapon. Lena stayed close, clutching his coat around her body. Her bare feet ached, but fear kept her moving. Every corner carried danger. Every sound made her heart jump. Behind them, the shouts of alien guards echoed through the streets. "Find them." One bellowed, "The human girl is worth more than gold." Another snarled. Lena's breath quickened. "They're coming," she whispered. "I know," Elias replied calmly. "Keep moving. Do not look back." The maze of shadows, the alleys, twisted like a maze full of sharp turns and dead ends. Trash and broken machines cluttered the ground. From dark windows above, glowing alien eyes watched silently. Lena felt the weight of every stare. She wanted to shrink into nothing, to vanish, into the shadows. But Elias walked with purpose, never slowing. At one point, he stopped and pressed his hand against a wall. A hidden panel slid open, revealing a narrow passage. "In here," he ordered. They slipped inside, just as footsteps thundered past behind them. Lena pressed against the cold wall, trembling as alien voices shouted outside. "Did you see them? They came this way. Search every door." Lena's heart pounded so loudly she feared they would hear it. She looked at Elias. He raised one finger to his lips. Silence. The footsteps faded. Only then did he push the panel open and lead her deeper into the city. The hunger and the coat towers seemed to pass. Lena's legs shook with exhaustion. Her stomach ached with hunger. She stumbled, nearly falling, but Elias caught her arm. "You need food," he muttered. I can walk," she whispered, though her voice was weak. Elias frowned, then reached into his coat. He pulled out a small packet and tore it open. Inside was a bar of dry rations. He handed it to her. Lena hesitated. It smelled bitter, strange. But her hunger was stronger. She ate quickly, crumbs falling from her shaking hands. Elias watched silently. When she finished, he pulled the coat tighter around her shoulders. "You'll survive," he said quietly. "But we can't rest yet." The first fight they turned a corner and froze. 3 alien hunters blocked the path. Their skin was gray and scaled, their eyes red and glowing. Each carried a blade that shimmered like fire. "There she is," one hissed, "the girl with the bounty." Lena's knees trembled. She tried to step back, but Elias pushed her behind him. "Stay down," he said. The hunters rushed forward. Elias moved faster than Lena thought possible, in a single motion. He drew his weapon, a short, black pistol that fired with a sharp hiss. The first alien collapsed, smoke rising from its chest. The second lunged, blade swinging. Elias ducked, grabbed its arm, and slammed it into the wall. The alien screamed, but Elias silenced it with another shot. The third hesitated, eyes glowing. With fear, Elias pointed the pistol at its head. "Run," he growled. The alien fled into the shadows. Lena's breath shook. She stared at the bodies, horrified. She had never seen death so close. Elias holstered his weapon and grabbed her hand. "Move. More will come." The whisper of fears they ran. Lena's mind spun with questions. "Why me?" she gasped. "Why do they want me so badly?" Elias glanced at her but said nothing. "Tell me," she begged. His eyes were sharp, unreadable. "Some truths are too heavy when you are weak. Survive first, answers later." Lena bit her lip. Frustrated, but deep inside, she knew he was right. Right now, survival was all that mattered. The safe house finally, Elias stopped before an old metal door. He tapped a code into a small panel, and the door creaked open. Inside was a small chamber hidden beneath the city. "Here," Elias said, "we'll rest." Lena collapsed onto the floor, breathing hard. Her body shook from exhaustion, but her mind was wide awake. Elias checked the locks, then turned to her. "You did well," he said. I was useless," she whispered. His gaze was firm. "No, you followed. You stayed silent when needed. That kept us alive." For the first time, Lena felt a spark of pride, small but real. The final warning as she sat in the shadows, Lena whispered, "Elias, what if they catch us?" He looked at her for a long moment. Then he crouched down, his eyes level with hers. "If they catch you, they will not kill you," he said slowly. "They will take you, use you, and you will wish you had died." Blood turned cold. "But," he added, his voice hard as steel, "that will not happen. Not while I'm here." He stood, pulling out a small map made of glowing lines. "Tomorrow, we head for the spaceport. If we can reach my ship, we escape this world." Lena stared at the map, her heart pounding. Escape. Freedom, it sounded. Like a dream. But dreams were fragile. She wrapped his coat tighter around her and whispered to herself, "I will not break. I will survive." Cliffhanger above the city, a red alarm light began to flash. Loudspeakers roared in the alien tongue. Lena didn't understand the words, but Elias did. His face grew grim. They've locked down the city, he said. They. No, we're here. Lena's eyes widened, and they will not stop until they find us. The hidden chamber was dark, but not silent. Above their heads, the city lived and breathed. Engines rumbled, footsteps echoed, and alien voices shouted through the streets. The lockdown had begun. Lena sat against the wall, clutching Elias's coat around her body. The fear in her chest was heavy, but something else pressed even harder questions. She looked at Elias as he adjusted his weapon and checked a small map of glowing lines. His face was calm, his movements steady, but there was something in his eyes. A weight. A secret dot at last, she whispered. Who are you really? The stranger's silently sighs didn't answer at first. He kept his eyes on the map, tracing routes with his finger. The line shifted, showing tunnels, alleys, and checkpoints. Does it matter? He finally asked. His voice was low, guarded. It matters to me, Lena said softly. You risked everything for me. No one else would. Why? He looked at her then. For a moment, she thought he would shout or refuse. But instead, he sighed and lowered the device. My name is Elias Cade, he said at last. Once, I was a soldier. Human army. Long ago, Lena's heart quickened. Soldier. But humans have no armies anymore. His eyes darkened. Exactly. That's the point. We lost. We scattered. Some of us became mercenaries. Some slaves, some disappeared, and some, like me, learned to survive in places like this. The hidden room. Elias pressed another panel on the wall. A section of metal slid open, revealing a small storage space. Inside were old weapons, food, packets, and a box wrapped in black cloth. He pulled out the box and placed it on the floor between them. You want the truth? Lena nodded, her breath caught in her throat. Elias unwrapped the cloth. Inside was a hologram projector, older than any she had seen. He pressed a button, and blue light filled the room. Lena gasped. The hologram showed her face. Tia, not as she was now weak, bruised, and frightened but clean. Dressed, standing proud. Next to her image were alien symbols and words she couldn't read. What? What is this? She whispered. Elias's voice was grim. It's your file. Your record in the alien archives. I stole it. Lena's heart pounded. My file? Why? Because it explains why they want you. Lena, you are not just some random slave. The secret revealed. Elias's eyes locked on hers. You are half human, half alien. The words struck like lightning. Lena froze. No, she whispered. That's impossible. Look closer, Elias said. Your blood. Your eyes? You felt it, haven't you? You don't belong fully to one world. That's why they fear you. Lena shook her head. I don't remember. My father, he was human. I know that. But my mother, her voice broke. I never knew her. Elias nodded slowly. Then, you know the truth. Your mother was alien. Powerful. That's why they hunt you. You are proof of something they never wanted to exist. A bridge between two races. Lena's chest tightened, half human, half alien. She wanted to deny it, to scream that it was a lie, but deep inside, something stirred. Memories, feelings, times when she never fit in, never felt whole. They're afraid of me? She whispered. Yes, Elias said. Because your blood means possibility. It means humans and aliens could unite. And for an empire built on control, that is the greatest threat of all. The hunters knocked suddenly. A sharp sound echoed through the chamber. Bang, bang, bang. Lena jumped. Someone was outside the hidden door. Open. A harsh alien voice growled. We know you're in there, human. Elias moved quickly, shutting off the hologram and shoving the box back into the wall. He drew his weapon, his face like stone. Lena whispered, terrified, "They found us." Elias crouched low, his finger on the trigger. "Stay silent. Stay." Behind me, the banging grew louder. The door rattled. Then, suddenly, it went quiet. Elias waited, tense. Seconds passed. Silence. Finally, he whispered, "They're gone." But Lena wasn't so sure. The choice Elias turned back to her. His voice was sharp. "Now you understand why I couldn't leave you. You are not just some girl from a slave market. You are a key, a weapon, or maybe a hope." Lena trembled. "But I'm not strong. I'm not brave. I'm nothing." Elias's eyes hardened. "That's what they want you to believe. But I've seen humans rise from nothing before, and I think you will too." Her heart raced. She wanted to believe him, but fear still wrapped around her like chains. "Why help me, Elias?" she asked. Again, her voice breaking. "Why risk your life for me?" His face softened for the first time. A shadow of pain passed through his eyes. "Because once," he said quietly, "the alien city was no longer safe. Sirens screamed across the towers, red lights painted the sky, and patrol ships circled above like vultures." Elias and Lena moved quickly through the shadows. Slipping between walls and broken stairways, Lena clutched his coat tightly, her legs aching. But fear kept her moving. "They've locked down the entire sector," Elias muttered. "The only way out is the spaceport." Lena's breath caught. "A ship. You have a ship." Elias gave. A short nod, old, broken, ugly. "But it flies. If we reach it, we leave this planet." For the first time, hope flickered in her chest. Escape, freedom, but it lasted only a moment. Because above them, alien search drones spread beams of white light across the alleys. "They're close," Elias whispered. "Stay low." The spaceport. The spaceport loomed like a fortress, its gates tall and silver, guarded by creatures with heavy armor and plasma rifles. Ships of all shapes and sizes rested behind the wall-sleek alien fighters, bulky cargo haulers, glowing transports. But Elias's target was different. Hidden in a dark corner was a small, rusted vessel. Its wings were crooked, its hull patched with old scars, but its engines pulsed faintly with life. Lena frowned. "That's your ship." Elias smirked. "She's old, but she'll outrun anything. If I ask her to." Before Lena could answer, the searchlights swept toward them. Guards shouted, "There." The fugitives. Blaster fire erupted, burning holes in the ground. "Run," Elias roared. The dash to the ship, they sprinted across the open yard. Lena's feet burned against the hot metal floor, but adrenaline carried her. Elias fired back, his pistol sharp and precise. 2 guards fell, but more closed in. A shot whizzed past Lena's head. She screamed but kept running. Elias pushed her toward the ramp of the ship. Inside, now. She stumbled up the ramp as lasers tore through the air. Elias followed, slamming the hatch shut behind them. The ship's interior was cramped and dark, full of blinking panels and wires that looked ready to fall apart. "Strap in," Elias shouted, racing to the pilot's seat. Lena dropped into the nearest chair and grabbed the straps. Her hands shook, but she fastened them tight. Engines roared. The ship trembled like a dying beast. "Come on, old girl," Elias muttered, pulling the controls. "Fly." With a thunderous blast, the ship lifted from the ground. Guards scattered. Below? Firing wildly, Lena felt her stomach drop as the ship shot into the sky. The first pursuit, the stars opened before them, black space dotted with silver light. For a moment, Lena stared in awe. She had never seen it like this, endless and terrifying, but beautiful. Her wonder was cut short by a warning alarm. Beep, beep, beep. Elias cursed. They're on us already. Lena looked through the viewport. Alien ships launched from the port's leak fighters with glowing engines. They spread like hunters, closing in fast. Hold tight, Elias shouted. The ship jerked left, then right. Lena's body slammed against the straps. Lasers streaked past the windows, glowing red across the darkness. One blast hit the hull. The ship shook violently, sparks raining from the ceiling. We won't last, Lena cried. We don't need to last, Elias growled. We just need to reach the jump point. The memory as the chase raged, Lena's mind spun. She remembered the hologram Elias had shown her face, marked as wanted. She remembered his words, half human, half alien. And suddenly, another memory returned. A voice, deep, commanding. Her father's voice. Run, Lena, if they find you. Never let them take you. Her eyes filled with tears. She had been running ever since. The fight in the skies, one alien fighter swung in close, aiming directly at them. Its cannons glowed, ready to fire. Elias slammed a button. Hidden guns on his ship unfolded and spat bright fire. The alien fighter exploded in a ball of light. That's one, Achilles shouted. But three more closed in. The ship twisted, spun, dove through debris. Lena clung to the seat, her body shaking. Fear gripped her chest, but something new rose inside Tuangor. They want me dead, she whispered. They want me broken. Her hands found the console beside her. Buttons glowed. Levers waited. Without thinking, she grabbed one. Don't touch, Elias started. But then the ship's second cannon roared. Another fighter exploded. Elias blinked, then smirked. Not bad. Lena stared at her shaking hands. I don't even know what I did. Instinct, Elias said. Maybe your bloodline isn't as weak as you think. The jump point ahead. The stars shimmered strangely, like water rippling in the void. Elias's eyes lit up. There it is, the jump point. Lasers struck the ship again. Alarms screamed. Lena smelled smoke. They'll destroy us, she cried. Elias's voice was calm, steady. Not if I time it right. He pulled the controls hard. The ship dove, spun, and in one last desperate burst shot through the glowing rip in space. Light consumed them. The stars stretched, bent, and vanished. Then, silence, the escape. For now Lena opened her eyes. The alien fighters were gone. Only the quiet stars surrounded them now. Her body trembled, but she felt alive. Alive and free for the moment. Elias leaned back, exhaling. We made it. Lena stared at him, her chest still heaving. Where are we going now? Ellie's eyes flickered with something unreadable. Someplace safe. Someplace they will never expect. But even as he said it, his gaze shifted to the dark beyond the glass. As if he knew safety was only a dream. Cliffhanger. Lena touched the console. Again, her fingers brushing over the glowing lights. For the first time, she felt not just fear, but a strange pull, like the ship itself had spoken to her. Elias noticed, his jaw tightening. You're changing, he said quietly. Before Lena could ask what he meant, the alarm beeped again. Not enemy ships this time. Something else. Something bigger. Elias's face grew grim. They're already waiting for us. Lena's blood ran cold. The jump through space left Lena dizzy. Stars twisted, bent, and then snapped back into place. The ship steadied, floating in silence. Only the hum of its old engines filled the cabin. Lena's heart still raced from the chase. Her body ached, but her mind burned even more. Half human, half alien. The words echoed inside her skull. She stared at Elias, who adjusted the ship's controls with practiced hands. His face was calm, but his eyes were restless, as if weighing something heavy. At last, Lena whispered, "Tell me everything." Elias didn't look at her. "You're not ready?" Her voice cracked. "I'm hunted, beaten, chained, dragged across a market like an animal. You think I'm not ready?" "I need the truth." He exhaled slowly. His jaw tightened. Finally, he turned. "You want the truth, Lena? Then listen. And don't look away." The memory box from under the console. Elias pulled out the black box, again the same one that had shown her bounty record. This time, he pressed a different sequence of buttons. A new hologram bloomed above them. Lena gasped. It was not her. It was a man-soldier in human armor, tall, strong. His face marked with scars, but his eyes bright. "My father," Lena whispered. The memory was faint, but she knew that face. Elias nodded. "General Marcus Hale, human commander. A man who fought to keep our species free." Lena's throat tightened. He's alive." Elias shook his head slowly. "No one knows. Some say he was killed in battle. Others whisper he vanished into the stars. But before he disappeared, he had a child." Lena's hands trembled. "Me. Yes," Elias said, "but not with a human woman." The hologram shifted. A new image appeared. A tall alien figure. Her skin silver blue, her eyes glowing like moons. Her presence was regal, almost divine. Lena's breath caught. "Who is she?" "Your mother," Elias said softly. "Highborn of the alien empire. A leader, a symbol of their power." The Forbidden Union. Lena's heart pounded. Her father, a human general. Her mother, an alien noble. They shouldn't have been together, Elias continued. Humans and aliens were enemies. Their union was forbidden. Dangerous. If the Empire had discovered it sooner, they would have killed them both. Lena shook her head, overwhelmed. "But why? Why keep me alive? Why not kill me at birth?" "Because some saw you as a weapon," Elias said grimly. "Others saw you as hope. But to the Empire, you are proof of weakness. Proof their control can be broken. That is why they want you erased." Lena pressed her hands against her face. "All this time, I thought I was nothing. Just a slave. Just worthless." Elias leaned closer, his eyes hard. "You are not worthless, Lena. You are the child of two worlds. You carry blood that could unite what has been divided for centuries. That is why they fear you." The voice from the stars. Before Lena could respond, a sudden chime rang through the ship. A transmission request. Elias's face darkened. "No, not now." But the signal forced its way through. A figure flickered onto the hologram. Lena froze. It was the alien woman from before, the one Elias had called her mother. Lena, the woman's voice was soft, melodic, but heavy with authority. "My daughter." Lena's chest tightened. Her mother, alive. Elias snarled, hand on his weapon. "Don't listen to her." The woman's glowing eyes locked onto Lena's. "Do not fear me. I have searched for you since the day you were taken. They lied to you. They twisted the truth. Come to me, and you will be safe." Lena's lips trembled. "Safe, yes," the woman said. "With me, you will know who you are. That man beside you, he hides the truth. He keeps you weak." Elias slammed the console, trying to cut the signal. "Don't listen. She's manipulating you." But the woman's voice grew sharper, cutting through. "You are mine, Lena. My blood. My legacy. And no human can protect you from what you are." The hologram vanished. Silence filled the cabin. The breaking point. Lena shook. The chase was not over. It had only just begun. The blackness of space trembled under the light of alien warships. Their engines burned like suns. Their weapons glowed. And their voices echoed through the coms in a dozen alien tongues. Inside the small, battered ship, Lena and Elias stood. Side by side, the alarms screamed. The walls shook. Death was closing in. Lena's hands trembled on the console. She had run from cages, from chains, from the market of shame. But there was nowhere left to run now. "This is it," Elias said, his voice steady as stone. "We fight, or we fall." Lena looked at him, fear in her eyes. But beneath that fear, something else had awakened a spark, a strength, a will not to break. "I'm ready," she whispered. The battle begins. The first barrage of fire lit up the stars. Beams of energy struck Elias's ship, rocking it violently. Sparks rained from the ceiling, and smoke filled the air. Elias pulled the controls, weaving the ship between blasts. "Hold steady," he shouted. Lena's eyes darted across the console. She remembered the moment before when her hands had fired. The cannons by instinct. She pressed the same sequence. The ship's guns roared. A stream of fire shot across the void, striking one of the smaller alien hunters. It exploded in a bloom of light. Lena gasped. "I did it." Elias gave a grim smile. "Then do it again." The mother's voice as they fought, a voice crackled across the comscom. Smooth and commanding. "My daughter," the alien woman said, "stop this. You cannot win. Come to me, and I will spare you." Lena froze. Her mother, the alien leader who claimed her blood, Elias snarled. "Ignore her. She's baiting you." Ah. But Lena's heart shook. She remembered the warmth of that voice, the strange pull inside her veins. "Fight me, and you die." The woman continued. "Choose me, and you will live. You will rule." Lena's hands trembled. For a moment, she almost faltered. But then she looked at Elias, bleeding, focused, refusing to give up. A man who owed her nothing, yet risked everything. Her jaw tightened. "I don't want a throne. I want freedom." She slammed the controls. The ship's cannons fired again, tearing through another alien hunter. The coms fell silent. The turning point, but the victory was short. The largest warship loomed closer, its weapons glowing brighter than a star. One blast would tear them apart. Elias's face was grim. "We can't outrun it, not in this ship." Lena's breath caught. "Then, what do we do?" His eyes hardened. "We make a stand." He typed a sequence into the console. The ship's core began to hum louder, brighter. Lena's eyes widened. "What are you doing?" "Overloading the engines," Elias said. "We get one chance. Either it destroys us, or it destroys them." Lena's chest tightened. "That's suicide." Elias met her gaze. His voice softened. "Sometimes freedom costs everything." The awakening the ship shook violently as the alien warship prepared its final shot. Lena's body shook with fear. But then, something stirred deep inside her. A pulse. A rhythm. A force. Her veins burned with light. Her skin glowed faintly. The console lights bent toward her as if the ship itself recognized her blood. Elias stared. "Lena, what are you doing?" "I don't know," she whispered, her voice shaking. "But I feel it." She reached out her hand. The ship's systems responded instantly. The guns charged, the shields flared. The engines roared louder than ever before. The alien warship fired. But Lena fired too. A storm of energy erupted from their tiny vessel, brighter than anything Elias had seen. It tore through the alien blast, split it apart, and struck the massive warship head-on. The giant ship shuddered, cracked, and exploded into fragments. Silence fell across the void. The aftermath of the battlefield was empty now, only debris drifting across the stars. The smaller alien ships scattered, fleeing into the dark. Lena collapsed into her seat, her body trembling, her glow fading. She was pale, exhausted, but alive. Elias steadied the ship, though his eyes never left her. What was that? She shook her head weakly. I don't know. But it felt like power, like the stars themselves were in me. Elias's gaze softened. Your bloodline, your heritage. Human and alien, together. That's why they fear you. Lena's chest ached. She thought of the market, of the laughter, of being abandoned. She thought of her father, her mother. The weight of two worlds pulling at her. But for the first time, she didn't feel weak. She felt whole. The choice Elias leaned back, exhausted. But alive. We can't stay here. They'll send more. But wherever we go, they'll keep hunting you. Lena looked out at the endless stars. Fear lingered inside her, but so did something new courage. They can hunt, she said quietly. Let them. I'm done hiding. Elias studied her for a long moment. Then, for the first time since she'd met him, he smiled. Good, he said, because I think your story is only beginning. Final hook, the stars stretched out before them, vast and endless. Lena pressed her hand against the glass, watching the light of distant worlds. Once, she had been worthless in a market, left to die in chains. Now, she was alive, free. A spark that could change everything. Her mother would come again. The Empire would return. But Lena was no longer afraid. She whispered to herself, steady and strong, I am not nothing. I am both. And I will fight for more than just myself. The ship roared into the stars, carrying Lena and Elias into the unknown toward battles, toward answers, toward destiny. The girl who no one would buy had become the one hope they could not kill.